All right, everybody. My name is Denton. I'm from Toledo. By daytime, I work anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week as a chief union steward at the Jeep plant in Toledo, Ohio, where we've been building Jeeps since 1941 when World War II started. And I get to be a proud history of that. Men and women in Northwest Ohio building Jeeps not only for our government and now that Jeep Wrangler, by the way, is the first vehicle ever driven on 7 continents on planet Earth. So I get to be a part of that. But my real dream ever since I was 7 years old was to be a writer. And this year on January 13th, for the first time in my life, it took me a long time, I had a novel published called $100 a Week Motel. It's available at Punk House Press. Thank you. I have copies here for sale tonight, so if you like what you hear, I'll be over afterwards selling some books maybe. Anyway, I'm going to read 2 chapters from my book and a couple of poems, and we'll call it a night, and Nadia can come on. This is chapter 9 from $100 a Week Motel. There is a universal sadness in every factory I've ever worked in, no matter the position on the Fortune 500 or lack thereof. I've worked in bright, clean, full of bullshit, faux cheer factories, and I've worked in shithole rat sewers that were so disgusting we'd walk down to the corner gas station on break so we could take a crap. Think about that. We willingly sought a gas station bathroom in the projects over a workplace bathroom. Dude that owned the gas station loved it, kept it clean, sold us beer and smokes and lottery tickets and crack pipes and 2-day-old soggy pre-made sandwiches. There's universal sadness and a certain kind of sick poetry. Machines marching a grinding cadence. Machines growling at half-alive men, half-dead men. Machines hypnotizing American workers into thinking that hard labor will someday pay off. And if they just save their pennies in their 401k, they can retire comfortably. Universal sadness, men torn from broken beds with empty lovers. Men leaving corrugated cardboard apartments and houses, driving banged up, rusted up sheet metal trucks, living corrugated cardboard lives. But I'll be motherfucked if there ain't a certain zen to the madness. A certain rhythm that gets under your skin and spills into your bloodstream, and the hum of the factory becomes a mantra that ohms its way through stale August evenings. There's a certain satisfaction, a certain pride that comes from a back sore from work, from tired, beaten, heavy shoulders, aging hearts, and flecks of paper dust settling in your hair. A certain chip on your shoulder feeling, walking out of a factory at 11 p.m., tired and sweaty, your work boots 3 ounces lighter from just being off the clock for the night. A certain happy feeling, walking away from the chatter of capitalism, fading and smiling visions of ice-cold beers lifted by work-hardened muscles and tired hands, rubbed from 1,000 times pulling a pallet jack across the factory floor. Yeah, man, there's poetry in the factory, but ain't nobody in the printing factory understood that. They will always look at you funny in a factory if you carry a paperback book in the back pocket of your jeans. Thank you. I'm going to read one more chapter. This is chapter 26 of $100 a Week Motel. This book is fiction, but a lot of this book stems from a lot of life experience. And this, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite characters I've ever met in my entire life. Chapter 26. Tone in Sheila's old room was empty for about 3 weeks after the orphan junkies were adopted by a cruel cosmic father everyone calls God. Then Jesus moved in one day. Jesus was 6'2" or some shit, skinny, had long frizzy hair down to his ass. There were rabbit's feet tied on the ends of his hair. He had a mountain man beard and hairy legs. Jesus wore dresses. A blue and plaid one, or rainbow striped one, that always came down to just above his potato lump knees. I'd seen Jesus walking around before. He walked everywhere. Always wore headphones, but no one ever saw them connected to anything. Everyone knew who he was because they see him walking, tall and skinny, long hair and wild dress, both waving in the wind. Everyone called him Jesus because that's what you call middle-aged crazy men with long hair and a beard. I've known 3 men that society called Jesus. None of them turned tap water into wine. Turns out this Jesus' real name was Randy, but Randy died in Vietnam. Jesus wouldn't tell me how. It took me a few times talking to him to figure any of it out. Jesus wore dresses because women could wear pants, so why can't men wear dresses? Raven, my girlfriend, she tried to give him a silk scarf and he laughed and refused it. Men don't wear those. He walked to the Wrangler roast beef every day and bought 2 roast beef sandwiches and a root beer for lunch. Every damn day I'd watch him eat it right in front of his room. Then he'd get up and take off walking somewhere else. I'd come home with Eugene at midnight and we'd see old Jesus walking down dark streets, those bare legs ignoring November frost. Jesus gave me the blessing of eternal life once because I gave him a Marlboro. I've been uncomfortable about that for a long time. That kind of threat can put a hopeless man on the brink. Home is where you think about eternity. Thank you, guys. That's a book, $100 a week motel, available at Punk Hostage Press, www.punkhostage.com. And I've got a couple copies in the book in the back there. I brought along a couple of poetry chapbooks I've got out. I'm going to make you a deal. If you buy a signed book from me tonight, $100 a week motel, I'll throw in a free chapbook. This first poem comes from a book I wrote called Give Us This Day, Our Daily Grind, an Ode to the American Factory Worker. My publisher, Iris Berry from Los Angeles, this is the first poem she ever heard me read, and after I read it, she sent me a message and asked if I had anything else, and over several months that led to my first ever book deal. So I'm going to read you this poem called Smokestacks. Smokestacks dot the skyline in the Midwest. Factories standing like tired whores, still working the street corner, still making money, even if they're nobody's first choice anymore. Smokestacks, spewing middle-class dreams, hard labor traded for hopes of summer vacations, hard labor traded for the long shot of early retirement, hard labor traded for our children's educations. Smokestacks, standing like monuments to an industrial revolution that nobody won. Smokestacks, standing like centuries that protect the man from being overthrown. Smokestacks that stand like beacons, drawing the working class to them like moths to light. Smokestacks, standing like symbols of an aging Midwest that refuses to be put out to pasture. Smokestacks, standing tall and proud, like Wall Street's forgotten stepchildren. All right, I don't want anybody to throw me out of here, but I'm going to read you one poem from a chapbook I wrote called A Stocking Stuffer for Socialists. And if this poem makes you uncomfortable, I apologize. I believe as an artist in America, sometimes it's my job to let you guys know exactly what's going on. This poem is called, Is It Really Supposed to Be This Way? A person wakes up one day, looks at the world around him and wonders, is it really supposed to be this way? With drug addicts detoxing in jail, where they shiver and sweat through a thin sheet, getting sick on concrete beds, crooked politicians and bank-robbing bankers live in mansions and golf world-famous courses. Homeless people beg for change in front of football stadiums that cost $1 billion to build. They're filled to capacity with people that pay $200 a seat every Sunday to watch grown men in tight pants throw a ball around. Can you spare a little change for a homeless veteran? Amusement parks are jam-packed with people at $80 a person, even on sweltering, steamy days. The art museum down the street with free admission and central air conditioning has empty halls, and good parking spaces are always available. Is it really supposed to be this way? Trillions of dollars invested in wars that kill thousands of innocent civilians, and kids go to school in classrooms filled with black mold, Detroit, Michigan. And whole cities are poisoned with lead, Flint, Michigan. And it will only cost 1/30th of one of those wars to fix. Fortune 500 companies pay zero taxes, and many of their employees collect welfare. And the public is outraged by those freeloading employees, and I ask, is it really supposed to be this way? They spray poison on our food to kill the bugs, but it also kills the bees. And we need the bees to grow more food. The bad poison chemicals get in our water, so they gotta put more chemicals in to make the water drinkable, and I ask, is it really supposed to be this way? Our politicians argue about a nominee to the Supreme Court, while gay teens kill themselves at a 4 times higher rate. Mass shootings happen every day. 29 million Americans are without health care. And Christians try to close abortion clinics instead of feeding the poor. Because we do have the highest rate of childhood poverty, even though we live in the richest nation in the history of the world. And I tell you, I don't think it's supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be this way.